Matters This Week with Lauren Maloney.
Happy Sunday to you. As we wait to learn whether Special Counsel Robert Mueller will testify before Congress, Congresswoman Elise Stefanik says she's for it. I sat down with Stefanik in her office last week in Washington, D.C. In fact, this chalk outline of the 21st District hangs in her office. In a wide-ranging interview, we talked about everything from keeping the northern border staffed to helping dairy farms. But up first, Russian interference.
There is no question that Russia sought to undermine our elections, and they, for example, spent money on Facebook ads. They sowed discord in our democratic electoral process, and we need to make sure that when it comes to hardening and protecting our elections, that we're making those investments and putting policies in place to stop Russia or any nation state from undermining our electoral process.
There are some Senate Republicans who are saying it's over when it comes to the Mueller report. Where are you?
I think the Mueller report was clear in its findings that there was no conspiracy or collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia. What I want to do as a policymaker is address specific proposals to how we can strengthen our cybersecurity, how we can close those loopholes on online ads to make sure that there's no foreign dollars spent on online advertisements. I've introduced the Honest Ads Act. That would ensure that any online ad has the same disclosure as TV or radio ads. Additionally, I serve on the House Armed Services Committee, and we need to continue supporting our NATO allies because Russia has sought to undermine their electoral process as well. So this is a global challenge that we also must face in terms of combating Russia's aggression.
If the special counsel testifies in front of the House Intel Committee, what questions would you have for him?
First of all, I think Mueller should testify. I support him testifying before Congress. I believe he'll be called in front of numerous committees. The questions I would focus on are the process, ensuring he had all the resources he needed from Congress, that he was able to ask witnesses and make sure that he got all the information that he believed was necessary. And then, I think his recommendations about what we need to do as policymakers moving forward to secure our elections so that we don't face Russia undermining our electoral process again. Additionally, I represent 194 towns and villages. Elections in this country are conducted at the local level. So how do we ensure that the states and municipalities have the resources they need to ensure that we have secure elections?
In a report from the Associated Press, unresolved trade issues in part, it said, are harming exports and boosting surpluses, adding to an already challenging issue in the dairy industry. Are you hearing that as well?
We are hearing that. I have deep relations with dairy farmers in my district. I've had numerous dairy roundtables throughout this crisis. We worked with them very closely to update some of their insurance programs in the Farm Bill. That will be implemented this year. We need to address that. The tariff issues have been devastating to agriculture. Tariffs are a form of taxation. I don't support tariffs. I believe we need to focus on expanding our access to export our dairy products around the globe.
What about the latest back and forth with China? I know there are some higher-ups in the area right now trying to resolve these issues.
Well, the administration is working very hard in its negotiations with China. I want to make sure that we have fair trade and free trade and that we're benefiting U.S.-grown, U.S.-manufactured goods. So I'm hopeful that we can come to an agreement with China and make sure that from the U.S. perspective, we have a level playing field and we have access to the market in the Asia-Pacific because China is a very important market for us to sell our goods to.
The Department of Homeland Security wants to divert officers from the northern border to the southern border. You're the co-chair of the Northern Border Caucus. What does this mean? What could less officers at ports of entry in Champlain in the North Country affect this plan?
I don't support transferring CBP officers from the northern border to the southern border. We've had an opportunity to vote to increase our border personnel along the southern border. I have voted in support of that, but I represent the northern border, and I do not think we should shift those resources. We've got to expand the resources at the southern border while maintaining our resources at the northern border. The negative impact that would have is an economic impact. 20% of the workforce that I represent, for example, in the greater Plattsburgh area, is reliant upon that U.S.-Canadian trade, U.S. economic partnership. And this will have an impact in Vermont, it'll have an impact in New York, it could potentially increase wait times, and we're heading into one of the busiest times for commerce along the northern border and in those ports of entry. So I don't support transferring CBP officers. That was a bipartisan letter that I led to the Department of Homeland Security. Both Republicans and Democrats who represent northern borders side on to that.
With such a focus on the southern border, what's missing when it comes to the northern border? Do you think the everyday citizen doesn't know about, doesn't realize?
You know, fortunately in my district, because we live our partnership with Canada and we understand the importance to the overall economy, I think my constituents understand the unique needs of the northern border. But nationally, what I've tried to talk about is it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. So the security challenges and the humanitarian challenges, frankly, we have at the southern border differ from what we face at the northern border. Canada is our largest trading partner. It has an impact on jobs, on manufacturers in our region. So we need to make sure that we have that appropriate balance in the northern border between economic trade and security, whereas at the southern border we are facing a security crisis. We need to ensure that we're investing in increased border security along the southern border.
Our thanks to Congresswoman Elise Stefanik for that one-on-one interview.